Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is episode 145 of the Blrd podcast. As always, we have an electric, awesome panel tonight. We have Bandito Mac.
That's right, I'm here.
We have in the flesh. We got Green Tuner.
I'm here too.
Oh yeah, baby. We have the one and only Dark Side.
Yo.
We have myself, Creamcast, Bay, main character, Bay, and a special guest tonight. And it's not the Ed Underground, because today he had other obligations that he had to attend to. Allegedly. We have the one and only, our dear friend, Snake himself. Snake, welcome to the podcast. Introduce yourself, man.
Introduce yourself, yeah.
Tell people about you. If it makes you feel any better, you can just refer to me as Ed.
Ed? Actually, wow.
I'll take credit for the podcast too. That's fine.
that sounds about right. Main character for sure. I feel that. Yeah, Bay.
The underground network is expanding.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no longer is just Ed. Now is Snake. He's part of the underground. And actually, honestly, this is a come up. Honestly,
much like a parasite, it clings to your brain.
Drains you of resources.
Yeah, right. Like a mind virus or something. It's absolutely crazy. But yes,
soon you'll start like wanting to purchase scions.
Yeah. And dress and
listen to Linkin Park.
Yeah, talk about it's your dark era.
You're gonna be obsessed with Sonic,
Yeah.
Wait till you see the haircut I plan on getting.
Oh wow! Hopefully, I mean, at least we get to see your hair. I mean, we don't really get to see the Ed Underground's hair. It's constantly being deprived of oxygen. And actually at one point it became sentient and created a Twitch account itself and started talking to the podcast. Absolutely crazy. So Snake, I'm not gonna lie, you're fitting right in already. It's absolutely insane. So but yeah, actually, I mean, like I said, we're happy to have you. This is really our first guest on the podcast, so pretty happy about that officially. Having our first guest after 145 episodes. Pretty cool indeed. Black Girls Hack, thank you for joining the chat as well. Who is that extra square for? That is, as I said, Snake. And am I guest appearing? Yes, by all means, you can come join the Blrd podcast. Just if your opinion is not like really like fringe and you're not willing to say some crazy things, then you might want to stay away. But yeah, you're always of course welcome on the podcast. So yeah, let's go ahead and kick it off straight into our review for tonight. We're reviewing the highly anticipated, the diabolical, the witchiest show that Disney has ever done, Agatha All Along. Finally came out a few weeks ago. And I think wrapped up last week or 2 weeks ago. Unfortunately, we took a week off, so we're a little bit behind on the review, but I believe we all watched it, except for Snake. Snake wasn't able to watch it, but we always love to hear. Like as a special guest, he should always be prepared, just in case.
You should read our minds and know what we're gonna review.
Absolutely.
When you're put in the spot, you damn better be caught up with every show out there.
Much like being at home and being at work, I live to disappoint.
Absolutely. Hey, he sounds just like the Ed Underground. Holy smokes! This is like, I mean, I can't tell the difference. Yep. So doppelganger,
twinning over here.
Yeah, twinning. But yeah, so we reviewed Agatha All Along. Once again, like I said, this is a sequel for those who have not watched. WandaVision is a sequel, a follow-up to the hit TV show. WandaVision was Marvel's, I guess, Disney Plus's first TV show. So
was it? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. WandaVision was kind of like the breakout.
Yeah, it was the breakout.
Right? Bandito, did you watch WandaVision?
I did.
I did. You were gonna catch it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So but I remember you guys reviewed it though as well.
Yes.
Right. a while back.
Yes.
But yeah, I watched it beforehand, so caught up on that, and then I saw Multiverse of Madness as well, which I feel like is an extension piece. You probably don't need to see that one necessarily, but it is good to fill in the
No,
gaps.
you don't need to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it wanted well, Agatha kind of fills you in, which is kind of good. A little bit of what happened. If you did not watch that, you probably would not understand that what Agatha is referring to during some scenes, but overall, like you can easily do a quick Google search and get caught up within a few minutes, not even probably a minute. So it's kind of cool that they have continued on the MCU. Well, one from Infinity War to Endgame, WandaVision, Multiverse of Madness, and now this. This is kind of continuing on with that legacy of Wanda, Maximoff, and so forth. So really happy about that. That was really, really cool. But let's just kick it off. Let's just talk about it. I mean, hey, what were you guys' first first impressions, opinions? What you guys think?
I mean, I wasn't. I think I speak for everyone here. I don't think anyone was excited for this. I don't think anyone was like too hyped up. Like, I mean, it was something new, but it wasn't something that she's not. Agatha's not like the top tier character. You know what I mean? And like coming out of WandaVision, I don't think like I was aching for more of Agatha's adventures. You know what I mean?
Right.
I like her, like Catherine Hahn, but I wasn't like, I gotta watch more Agatha. And when they announced it, I did an eye roll for sure. That was like, all right, do we need this? Or are they just fluffing up their Disney Plus roster here of shows just to, they must have had the set still in production or something, and they just decided to throw it out there. But yeah, my initial, like, I love this show. I truly love this show from top to bottom. I think this was unexpected. Maybe that's why I liked it. I was surprised with how much I liked it and the variety in the episodes and some of the, I don't know, chances. They didn't really take that many chances, but they're creative with the storytelling and how they told the story. And I liked how it kind of came around and developed some of these characters. Like in the first episode, like I'm like, okay, they're introducing these characters. Didn't realize how much, like how well, I would end up caring for some of these characters and their story arcs to get um so yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by how much I liked Agatha. I was not expecting it.
That's pretty much my almost like exact experience, where coming into it just not knowing a whole lot, right? Not like, again, like you said, Catherine Hahn was good in WandaVision, like her character was interesting, but not having a lot of background on her. And I think that I asked before, we originally reviewed like the first 2 episodes a couple episodes back. And we were kind of giving like some guesstimations about what we would think would happen. And I think I was wondering as well, like, was Agatha even like a comic book character from previous? I just never heard of her character before, but super surprised. I was very shocked about how much I enjoyed it, especially there were a couple like really standout episodes. I think episode 7 with the witch, which is she's kind of going through time, like her time jumping sort of issues was like masterfully well done. And then I feel like the big twist near the end, I feel like you do need to watch WandaVision at least for that to really pay off in the way that it did for me. But like just kind of like how everything was revealed, I felt like it was super well done. And the hints and like the foreshadowing they dropped in the beginning, how all that sort of like they pulled it back and sort of answered everything, or answered most stuff, I would say. I thought it was very well done. Super good. Like I enjoyed the characters. I thought some of them would be rather annoying, like the teen. I thought he did pretty well. And yeah, I think all the other witches too. They just kind of nailed the roles, except for not except, but I would say maybe Aubrey Plaza's character was a bit underutilized. I feel that'd probably be my only complaint, just because you didn't get to see too much of her, and I wasn't really sure a lot of the time like what her sort of main motivation was. I think that was like my initial issue in the beginning, was not understanding when they first met the reason that she was going after Agatha in the first place, and the reason that she just didn't sort of just straight up. She's just like, oh hey, let me get my powers first, and then we can settle this. That whole thing was sort of weird. Yeah,
it's interesting when you think about the earliest episodes and how like characters were like you didn't know, like you said, motivations and like things like he had that hex or whatever on him where he couldn't say his name, and what Agatha knew and didn't know and pretends to know in the beginning, and what you find out in the end, how much she's just faking it or whatever. That's the part of the storytelling I really liked. Where in the end, it came like you kind of have a different impression of her character and the facade she's putting on. But no. Also, you mentioned episode 7 for sure, the standout, the fortune teller episode. Really, I think that was the start of like me thinking like, oh, okay, I kind of see how these pieces are all fitting together, and I started to get a different appreciation for the show. Yeah, Tuner, what did you think?
Just like before, not really my cup of tea. I don't know. This reminds me of that American Horror Story witch series. Remember?
Yes.
There was like a whole season based on witches, and everyone loves it. And I remember also good. Like I watched the whole season, and everything. I thought it was interesting, but same thing, not my cup of tea. I just don't find enjoyment in watching these type of shows. Personally,
supernatural or what is it?
No, just it's like witch wise, like The Witch, right? The movie. That's my type of witch stuff, right? Or things having to do with like folklore, more folk nature, not the sort of like super team up of witches. You know what I mean? Like very comic booky combined with like drama that's targeted to a certain audience. It's just not my thing. I honestly remember I watched the whole thing. I remember bits and pieces, but most of it is just outside of my brain.
So you wanted more direct Satan, basically. You wanted a direct cameo from
Mephisto, right?
Yeah,
Mephisto,
fucking, you wanted to straight up like jump right to the baby sacrifices. You wanted them to go hardcore.
You want a bit more grim, like a darker one. More like Daredevil versus
Moloch requires sacrifices of the young.
Not that there's anything wrong with
How else will you have a good harvest?
There you go.
Yeah. No, I sort of get that. I mean, it definitely.
But again, this is all personal. Marvel. So this is me coming. This is on my own preference. It's everything. Yeah. Obviously, this show is not meant for me. Not targeted towards. Same thing. I'm pretty sure it's a huge hit. Same thing with that American Horror Story thing that Creamcast just agreed to. I know that season was a huge hit, so much so that they kept bringing back the characters from that season and other seasons. So, but again, it's just not my thing. I've gave it a fair shot and everything, but just personally, it's not something. They could have written one of the, like you guys said right now, the best crafted storylines with this and that and everything. But if it's packaged within this, doesn't appeal to me. It's just something that I just don't personally find enjoyable. And I'm not saying like the actors weren't good. I mean, obviously the actors did very good in the roles. They did everything as they should. So I can't even give them grief for that. It's just all personal taste.
Now, I remember when we did review those first 2 issues, there was I think someone had said something, or someone had seen a 3rd episode and said, "Oh, it's going to be more of a musical." And do you remember this?
That's me. That. Yeah, because I told you guys, I'm like, oh, yeah, because you guys had only seen the detective part, and I had seen past the detective. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna take a turn, and that's why I'm like, it's gonna get more music. It's same thing.
That did worry me when they first did the Witches Road song. I'm like, oh no, please don't tell me that they're gonna start singing a whole lot more.
I did not want this to be like musical, like Wicked or something like that. I'm not gonna lie, I was very, very scared about that because like I mean, to be fair, I mean I don't think they've really done a musical. Marvel and Disney, like they've done a musical in this universe, so I'm like I could see, since this is a female led cast, I feel like a lot of women like musicals. If they had went there, I wouldn't be shocked, right? And you gotta play to your audience, and if that was what they did, I'd be like, okay, I would accept it. This is not my thing, but I would accept it, right? But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised after the whole musical number in episode, I think 2. It turned, and then they had like I think 1 or 2 other little musical songs that they had, but after that, it really wasn't a musical at all. It didn't have anything musical related, and I think the show was very well written overall.
Didn't someone have a solo in a piano, or am I imagining then like a whole musical number while playing a floating piano or something?
Yeah. There was a point where they were in a band, like that was kind of one of their witches trials.
Yeah,
I mean that's still a musical part.
Well, yeah, it's musical, but I'm saying a musical, like a musical would be something like I'm going walking down the street.
Because you said that you didn't see any. Because you said that you didn't see anything else that was musical. So I'm like, yeah, they did have still that aspect that carried on. I don't think it was completely focused on that, but that was definitely an aspect to the whole storytelling.
No, I said there was. I said there was 2. I said no after that main one they did to open up the road. There was like 2 other ones that wasn't. But I don't think there was many more. Probably like 2 or 3. I think it's like 3 or 4.
Like a straight up musical. It's not a straight up musical where you get like a 5-minute break or 10-minute break between songs.
Right. Which I
like carrying the exposition through singing and stuff like that.
Exactly. Which I can't understand that because I lose interest really quick, and then I'm like, what the fuck is? Then we're at the end of the show, and I'm like, what the hell did they? All I heard was people singing and dancing. What the hell actually happened? Like,
I'm with you. Yeah.
I think we have some extra like residual trauma from Joker.
True.
And,
oh Lord!
I'm
can someone mute
there.
Darkseid for saying that horrible title?
Yeah, please.
I don't even want that in my ears, you motherfucker. I don't even want it like near my ears.
All right, Snake. What you got?
Yeah, what you got, Snake?
I don't know how. So I got a girlfriend who loves musicals.
Ooh.
So
somebody has a girlfriend. Yeah,
stop flexing on us, sir.
Oh, so cool.
I gotta go. I gotta go to work and skip the podcast.
Jake. Oh, and he has a job now. Oh no.
No, only that. Hold on, Jake. That was the most Ed thing you've said so far.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a pretty Ed thing.
Guys.
I gotta skip the podcast. Go ahead, go ahead, Snake.
Hang on, I'm gonna play Killer Instinct. Watch my stream tomorrow while I skip this. Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna be too mean. I won't be too mean. So I've never been a musical person. That was never my type of thing. I got a girlfriend who loves musicals.
Oh.
When you have a girlfriend, you have to spend time and do things with your partner that they often want to do. So I've had to watch quite a few.
Sure.
I don't know how many musicals y'all have watched. Some of that stuff's pretty good.
Okay.
And when it's done well, they tie it into the storytelling. Now I know we're coming off the heels of Joker 2, which I didn't watch.
Watch that first.
So I don't have that bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, watch that first.
I want to know Snake's take on Joker 2 here.
Yeah, from someone that is starting to
20 minutes into the first one,
enjoy musicals, I want to get your aspect.
No, so all I'm saying is there have been a couple TV shows that do a kind of a musical thing, and it's really hard to do television show wise. But like, if anybody's gonna pull that off, Disney with the Marvel stuff could get really creative with it. Now, also, another observation. Sitting here as a person who had never heard of this show, didn't watch WandaVision, and in fact has no idea that this existed. I actually have no idea what the hell y'all are talking about. I'm trying to figure out what the show's about based on what you're saying, and it's like I can't figure. I have no idea what's happening. This is
it's
awesome
about 1945 in Cold War Russia.
Okay, so
in a deep underground base that researches enhanced humans.
Yeah. So
wait, is he being serious?
No, he's not.
Have you ever heard of the story about Dark Plagueis the Wise?
Do you know that?
Have you heard of duality?
Yeah. Have you heard of the power of
Good
one,
and evil.
Power of two,
blue and red,
the power of many? Have you heard that?
No.
Okay, then you're actually
I live
blessed.
under a rock.
Stay on that rock. No, so like
it's doing me okay.
So the thing is, this show is all about like like we could tell you about the show, right? But the thing, the journey.
This is more fun.
Yeah, actually, the journey of the show is actually pretty good. If you, I mean, obviously you have to watch like Infinity War, Endgame, and so forth. Then watch WandaVision, like we said, Multiverse of Madness, and then this to get the full picture. This once you kind of watch those and you kind of kept up with the Marvel shows, to that Marvel show, the previous Marvel series movies, the Marvel show, and then the one movie Multiverse of Madness. Ultimately, that's it. You know, only like at least only like 40 hours of content. But once you get past that, the thing is like with this show, it does kind of subvert some of your expectations. The one thing I really enjoyed about this show, and I know, yeah, you since you haven't watched it, you haven't kept up with Marvel, you're kind of, you know, lost in the sauce of what we're talking about. But good thing they do about the show, and this is why I think it's kind of worth, I won't say it's necessarily worth watching all that, but watching all that and then watching this show, and then the way they kind of, I would say it's kind of masterfully done, how they kind of subvert your expectations on, and they call, like, while you go later on the episode, or later on in the episodes, and it calls back to events that you saw in the first like couple episodes, and they didn't make sense in the time. You're just kind of like, why are people saying random things? Why did this random event happen? Why are these people saying these things about their past and their backstory, and how they pay off at the end? I think it was actually done very well. And that's the one thing I really think they did well on the show. And while you may be confused right now, it might be worth it to experience that. And I will say specifically, there was one of the last episodes, and I think I talked over it with Bandito for a little bit. That, like, the second to last episode, where all the random events that happened that didn't make sense earlier in the series paid off, and how they kind of did it in that last like 10 minutes of that show, or that particular scene. I was like, yo, that was really good. Like, that really impressed me. And maybe it's because my expectation is so much lower of all the shows that we watched, and they were just shit. And I'm just like, okay, to actually have some writing that pays off and has done it in a good way, I'm all like, oh my God, like, it's really like C grade writing, but I'm thinking it's an A+. That's
I say we're seeing it from the perspective of the Disney Plus MCU, which the bar is pretty low. So within that range, it's pretty good. I mean, you know what I mean?
I mean, I felt like I haven't had that feeling for a show for like a long time. I mean, because the only other things I can think of, are some other movies. Like, there's this one with Leonardo DiCaprio, and he's like in the mental asylum. I think it's Shutter Island. It's one of one of those movies where, like, once at the end, it makes you want to go back, and then you see like, oh, all the pieces were here, right, to kind of let you know, like, this is what was going on. And I think this show does that very well, and that's just like one of the things that I really, really dig about any media that does that. They can pull that off.
Snake, just for context, what is the last MCU thing you watched that was current? Where are you at?
Been, I want to say 2 years. I watched Multiverse of Madness. I watched the latest Captain America show and wanted more of that. I watched Moon Knight. What have they done since then?
Okay, well, you're not too far back.
Yeah,
I'm not too far behind. I did not watch WandaVision.
That's fine.
That one went past me, and I don't know whether it was bad or just like I had like 2 people in a row tell me they didn't like it, but like it just flew past me.
It's decent. I feel like it's good.
Well, I have a follow up with that then. Did you understand what was going on well enough in Multiverse of Madness of like Wanda's motivation?
Yeah.
I mean,
not that I remember right now, but like they made it pretty clear.
They did. I just want to make sure, because if you caught up with Marvel like up to like an Endgame, and then you went straight to Multiverse of Madness and missed WandaVision, but you still understand the gist, then you could watch Agatha and get a pretty good grasp of what happened. So
I feel like the payoff isn't as good if you don't know what happened in WandaVision. Because like part of like the whole like the crux of what was going on in WandaVision, right? Like that's sort of the piece, right?
This is kind of why I gave up on the Marvel stuff right now, though. It's like the last couple movies they put out didn't look interesting to me. I didn't think Endgame was pretty good. I kind of think everything after Civil War was, sort of bunk. And the one-off shows are pretty good, and like following up with like Bucky and Sam was pretty good, but man, like.
Yeah, no, I mean I get it. Like,
if that's where I gotta be to get if you're trying to sell me on watching a show and I missed a part and I'm not gonna get the full thing, like man, I ain't gonna go watch another series to get the fulfillment out of it. I don't care. It's not been that good. Even the good stuff in the good stuff doesn't really make up for the fact that it all kind of looks like the same hashed up stuff. I got real problems with the production qualities in a lot of shows right now. Sidebar, I'm gonna take Prime and Netflix to the bank over just looking like absolute garbage. Yeah, I don't think Disney's doing much better.
Okay, well,
yeah, I mean that's fair. I mean, because I was gonna say like I was in a similar boat where I just didn't watch. I mean, I hadn't seen a lot of Marvel movies, and only watched most of them just because we were talking about them here. But
same here.
Yeah, just
I only watch all this because of this.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the podcast, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but like just specifically for this show, I was just so impressed with it. But I feel like that like it's still watchable naturally. Just if you, I feel like it just pays off a lot more if you understood like a lot of the story beats from WandaVision. But otherwise, yeah, like it's not like the next like you gotta go see this. It's like the best thing ever. But I feel like Agatha on its own, like it was well written enough. And the story pays off big, knowing a lot of those story beats leading up to it. So yeah, just overall. And then what is the show about? That was the other question. I wanted to get back to that because just for other people who may not know, right? It's just you have Agatha Harkness, right? Who's a witch. She's just trying to get her powers back because they were stolen from her in the previous series. So, it's just about her and her trying to gather this coven of witches in order to perform this ritual. And they're going down the witches' road, which is kind of similar to like the Wizard of Oz in a sense, right? And then they go through all these trials, and there's just like a fight with death essentially. But I mean, there's a lot more going on in there, obviously. But that's kind of like the rough shake of it. And so
it doesn't sound at all like a Marvel show.
exactly, yeah. Right? It's not like superheroes going out. We got to go save the fucking world. And that's one of the things that I liked about it is because it's still a bit more grounded, right? I mean, you're still dealing with fucking witches and powers and shit like that.
I was like, that's not grounded.
It's not. It is not. But
it is if you believe hard enough.
Sure.
Yeah, right? It's just not like something over the top. On like, why didn't they just fucking call who's Superman in Marvel? I don't. They
Thor.
Call
Thor.
You know what I'm saying, right? It's none of that. It's a much more contained, much more personal story, which I feel like Marvel could use a lot more of. Like, it reminded me of. It's not as the high quality of like the Netflix Daredevil. Jessica Jones, that realm. But I feel like it's straddling that line between, happy-go-lucky Marvel fun movie, and not as gritty as Daredevil, but it's like right in the middle. So it's kind of thinning that.
I'll give Disney props for allowing Agatha Harkness this interpretation of her to get her own series because she's not a likable. She's the villain, right? She's a villain from WandaVision.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing too. Yeah,
it's like a big redemption arc for her, and also she's played in a way that she's kind of irredeemable in the beginning of this series, and they kind of lean into that, revolving around her family and things she's done. How she's like basically remorseless about certain things, like she did what she had to do and she'll keep doing it, kind of like her mindset. And
I actually was not liking her a lot near the end of the series. I was just like, I'm kind of sick of her because she was just kind of an asshole.
I don't think you're supposed to like her.
Oh yeah, exactly.
She reminds you like, hey, if it was nothing.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, I'm still a piece of shit.
What I was gonna say is that at the end of the series, they try to they try to slightly turn it so that now you're kind of supposed to like her, but I think she still has that you can't trust her edge to it, and I like that about her, and I like the fact that they didn't completely flip flop her character to be like now she's hey Kang, let's
she
friendship
and all this.
You can't really trust her, but you got to keep one eye on her, but she's not a total bitch into the extreme level where she sacrificed her son to the devil. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of softened up about her. So I will give Disney props for like for just pursuing this series. I didn't see like I said in the beginning, I didn't see the potential of the character or the series, but there is something here, and I'm glad I actually saw it. It's better than like going back through like I'd rather have watched this than She-Hulk. I'd rather have watched this than a couple other series. But and you're right. I think that they do better when they go off into another direction in the Marvel universe that has nothing to do with superheroes or the Avengers or the end of the world. It's just personal stories. They hate like, oh, okay, Doctor Strange exists, so magic exists, so these characters can exist and witches can exist. And then you keep going down these interesting paths if they lead somewhere interesting. And this is an example of the MCU leading, and it's got a lot of dead ends. The MCU, I think the big problem with it right now is they're hitting dead ends like crazy because they're going down the usual avenues because they don't want to take any risks on the bigger budgets. And I get that. I mean, if I had to fund $1 billion movie, you'd want a guaranteed investment. But I mean, that's what the record of this podcast, we're going back and we're enjoying the smaller stuff. So
and that's another aspect I appreciate it. I feel like the sets, a lot of them were practical. There wasn't a lot of green screen. I thought that was a really great touch. Because they play with that a little bit. There was one scene where Aubrey Plaza's character, right? She like is gonna walk off, and then she just kind of puts a knife into the background and then rips it up and then walks through it. I thought that was fucking awesome.
Aubrey Plaza plays. This is a spoiler, obviously, but you should have. I assume you're fully spoiled by now. But it was revealed that she's deaf, which is cool if you put in the context of that was the reason why in the comic books Thanos he found he gathered the Infinite Gauntlet to impress the woman he's obsessed with, like death, to impress death. And that would have been Aubrey Plaza, which is cool. Like it didn't happen, it's not that thing, but to see her, the Marvel manifestation of death is Aubrey Plaza, which I like Aubrey Plaza a lot, and I like how she played it. I agree with you, she didn't have a lot to work with towards the end, but I could see her interpretation of this character in the context of like that classic story. So that was cool if you're a Marvel like fan from comic book stuff. I think it was pretty good. Another question for Snake here, just it popped up in my head. Since you're on this renaissance of musicals, what's the best you've seen to turn it around for those of us here who've not had the pleasure? What would you recommend? Snake?
Oh man,
Singing in the Rain? I think I liked Singing in the Rain.
I don't.
Hamilton? Like what?
Was Hamilton a movie? I thought it's just a play.
I enjoyed Hamilton, not gonna lie to you there. I had to explain all the hip hop references to my girlfriend, but
oh no.
But but that was mostly me flexing. I'm like, as not a musical person. Hey, that was I got that reference.
Okay.
Shit's so impressed.
But no, that's
wow. You're so street.
You're so hip. God.
Yeah. Are you a bad boy?
Listen, my homie.
I'm way more into stuff with original music, and so shit. What were the good ones?
Moana. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I was high as absolute shit when I watched Moana. I was not interested. In like 30 minutes in, I was fucking invested. I had a good time with Moana. Okay,
I'm
trying to remember the name of it.
I got
one
about
the French Revolution. God damn, I'm
Les Miserables.
Yeah, Les Mis.
Pretty good.
Les Mis.
Pretty good.
No. But you guys are not talking about the greatest musical of all times. And I guarantee none of you will think of this as a musical, but it truly is a musical. Little Shop of Horrors.
That is a musical.
Why would you think that's not a musical?
Yeah. No, because some people don't think of it. Some people don't think of it as a musical. They just think of it as a movie.
Who doesn't?
A lot of people do. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised.
They're idiots.
I got one for you. A couple months ago, I went to.
You know what? I agree, though. That is
downtown.
one of my favorite musicals. I totally forgot about it.
I highly encourage you to do this if you get the opportunity. I went to a theater downtown. I saw American Psycho.
No, that's surprising.
It's an adaptation. Okay. It was very different.
Yeah.
It was very like you were basically in the crowd at this place. It was a very small theater and it was freaking cool.
Okay. I mean, American Psycho is one of my favorite movies.
I wouldn't mind. Yeah, see, I wouldn't mind. I've seen a couple ads for there's like a Back to the Future musical, which I heard is really good. I want to see that too. So I was like, these
are the kind of things you should seek out. That they did a Beetlejuice one a little while ago. It was like sold out for its whole run. Like that's the stuff you ought to go look into. Usually those things are really entertaining.
Now the only one I wish, and none of us will have the pleasure of seeing, was the Spider-Man musical that got shut down because it killed people, or was not killed people, but nearly killed several people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Turn Off the Dark. Man, I just wish somebody
recorded
for you didn't hear about this?
You didn't hear about Turn Off the Dark?
Oh
no,
my God.
How did people die?
Somebody getting injured or getting something like
they were Spider-Man some crazy shit.
Acrobatics. I think the Spider-Man guy he fell from the rafters and he went splat and everybody was like, what? They weren't.
I like the name of the villain though. Remember the name of the villain?
No, it wasn't original.
Swiss Miss.
Nice.
Yeah.
But they had the most recognizable of all Spider-Man villains.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. I was gonna say they had this rig built where the actor would swing over the entire audience, and it was really new stuff was being done. It was innovative way to do a musical, but apparently it's highly hazardous to any actor who was working there. So I always think about musicals when I think about what could have been if somebody snuck in a camcorder just so we could have a taste of that. But yeah, it's a legend. Wow. But yeah, that's my only context into live musicals. Everything else I've never attended. So yeah, no, I would definitely want to check out some of those. Seemed a cool idea.
Okay, but aside from live musicals, what musical that you could rent or stream would you recommend?
Maybe
rock
so I've been flying a Jolly Roger for the last 5 years exclusively, and I don't know how to answer that question. I have a literal Jolly Roger 2 feet from my face. I'm having a hard time with that question.
Right.
Not gonna lie, I haven't thought about musicals in a while, so I'm drawing a freaking blank. I'm doing no justice.
What about your partner? Yeah, which one does she like? Or does she have a favorite?
She likes chess. That's a popular one. She loves the music in chess. Yeah, actually about the Cold War. It's about a chess game. It's really about the Cold War. Yeah, that's a popular one. You have heard music from that, whether or not you recognize it.
Really? Okay.
One Night in Bangkok.
I'm not sure. I'd have to hear it.
Well,
no.
Yeah, you've heard this song. I guarantee you've heard this song.
I mean, I'm sure I have. I just
yeah. I can't.
It's called Chess the Musical.
Yeah.
Yep. I looked it up.
This is why we have a cultured man on the podcast to teach us things.
Hell no! I live under a rock and I work in boiler rooms. I am not cultured.
Well, that's
so. How do the other Teamsters react when you start gushing over musicals?
Gushing. That's what I'm doing right now.
I
can't name one of them. I'm gushing.
Yeah, absolutely gushing right now.
I'm doing great.
Yeah, go back to Killer Instinct, okay? We thought you knew a little bit about culture,
musicals.
I'm gonna go back to my Spanish fantasy series. Hang on.
Yeah, geez, uncultured swine. No, this actually I'm looking at right now. I have a lot of different musicals that came out in the past few years. Sweeney Todd.
Hated it.
Chicago.
Don't know from Chicago.
My wife loves Chicago.
Which is the
one with Renee Zellweger and
which one came out?
Ewan McGregor.
Jones.
Ewan McGregor. Which one had Ewan McGregor?
Maybe it has the guy that had a hamster in his ass. What's his name?
Moulin Rouge is what you're thinking.
Moulin Rouge. She really likes Moulin Rouge. I don't.
Yeah.
I like original music, so I don't get down with Moulin Rouge. But it was a good watch.
What was that? Came out like 2 years ago, won the Oscar with Ryan Gosling.
La La Land.
Lord, that one.
I think I did watch that one too. I have no memory of it.
See, I remember back in the day in high school. Now this is 20 years ago. The theater kids, right, used to be like Glee. Like was like
that was the thing at the time.
At the time that was popping, and you would see like the theater kids, like they were always the weird kids, but they would be dancing and singing. Like, oh, did you see the new Glee episode last night? And they'll be singing the songs. I'm like, this is back in like 2004. I was gonna say 2004. That sounds weird. 2004. They had to print out the lyrics, and they would be singing them from Yahoo and everything else, and be like, yeah, like, oh man, you remember this song? And this is, I never understood musicals because I think I turned away from it because of the theater kids. The theater kids were always like, they just ruined all the like musicals.
There was also a problem in the late 80s where
Grease.
No, it wasn't Grease. What the hell was the name of it?
Late 80s.
Yeah. So they come out with what was the name of the guy who played Swan in the Warriors? Can't believe this is how I'm.
It's my hair. It's on musical Hair.
No. Hairspray was cool. Not gonna lie to you about that one. Michael Beck. Michael Beck. Okay, 1980, Xanadu. You probably never heard of this movie.
I've heard of it.
Yes, I've heard of Xanadu.
Yeah, Xanadu single-handedly killed the musical genre for over a decade. So throughout all of the 80s, there were no musicals put on the big screen. Xanadu failed so freaking hard. Which is funny because it's a bananas movie. It's a very unique, freaking wild trip. I don't know that I can recommend it.
Watch these movies,
huh?
How high are you when you watch these musicals?
Funny, I don't smoke.
Yeah, he does it sober. Like,
whoa!
No, I never said that. I never said that.
Oh, drunk.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Let's see here.
Okay, so how drunk are you when you enjoy these musicals?
I just asked Catherine for a top 5. American Psycho. Number 2 is Natasha. Number 3 is Pierre. No, this is Natasha, Pierre, and the Great Comet of 1812 is the title.
That's the title?
Oh wow! Like some deep cuts right here.
Yeah, right.
She's never mentioned this to me. Les Miserables comes up. This is not gonna lie, these 3 have actually been pretty good. And I get if Les Miserables, that's a long ride. It's a good ride. It's a sad ride, but it is a long ride. It's not for everybody.
It is a depressing one.
Yeah. That's not happy.
John vote John? Yeah. All right.
Yeah, but come on.
I can see.
Awesome.
I can see Snake's girl. I can see Snake's
fan of the opera.
Like her number 2 choice. She like hides it from him. Like, Snake is like, man, just give me your top musicals. Let's watch it together. She's like, what musical? And like watching it like in secret, like in the bathroom, so that he can't get like all the good musicals. Like she's holding out on you, dude. She's gatekeeping.
Something called Hades Town, and I'm like.
I've heard of that. I feel like I've heard. I don't know.
I haven't heard of that. Sounds awesome.
What about Cats?
Oh, it's
Cats.
Cats.
What about Cats?
Nobody likes Cats. Nobody likes Cats.
Do you not remember
the movie?
Yeah.
What was the movie? Cats.
They rendered their cat buttholes.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah, you guys don't remember the critical hit of Cats X amount of years ago that literally destroyed people's careers? Yeah, that one. Yeah.
I did hear one called Repo Man.
Could you imagine being the animator that has to like CGI an asshole?
Repo was huge back in the day, but it was like edgelord huge.
Yeah.
The only people I know of who were like really into that were like, they weren't like normal musical people. They were like people who were into other weird stuff.
Right.
Not to single out anybody who actually likes this, but like I just never knew a normal person who liked that.
No, I get that for sure. I mean, Paris Hilton was in it, right? I feel like that was like
couldn't
one
tell
of
you.
the things that people are like, well, Paris Hilton's in this movie. It's just like, it's terrible. I mean, it's musical. So Repo, the Genetic Opera.
Oh, God. That movie sucked.
Yeah.
Waldo, have you had a positive reaction to anything mentioned in the last 15 minutes?
No.
Yeah,
all right. Absolutely not.
I had to watch that one of my good friends is into theater. He's a theater kid, right? I had to watch this goddamn movie with them, and they were having the time of their life. I just wanted to fucking have an airplane land on me. It was fucking miserable.
Oh wow.
It was like someone doing shitty covers of Power Man 5000 songs.
Hell
yeah, that's what it was.
Like effects and shit. Yeah. God.
I'm watching like while you guys are talking the trailer for the 2019 version of Cats, and I remember like the controversy of that because at one point I think they wanted to like get rid like why do the cats have breasts? Cats don't have breasts, they have they have teats. Like, and then that became an issue, and then I think it was like the cat buttholes or something like that. They had to make sure they didn't have that. It was like a whole bunch of weird shit with cats. Oh God, I'm so happy that I am not a theater kid, just because it's just it must be a miserable existence.
Like Coke Energy. Everything.
I got one more for you. Disney's Hunchback of Notre Dame. I don't care for the movie, but that score is freaking fire.
No, it's about the animated.
Yeah, I kind of gotta agree. I kind of enjoyed the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Like, good soundtrack.
No, back
okay. The soundtrack was solid.
The animated like musicals that they had were great. Yeah. Disney in the 90s, in the 80s.
Disney in the 90s was unmatched.
Could not be beat.
I agree.
If you had a cassette tape of some on them Disney shows, you were like the cool kid. But yeah, I mean, they obviously have not gotten to that level in a while.
Yeah, well, I mean, so Lin-Manuel, right? He's the one writing. Like, I know he wrote Moana. That's usually the one I go to for. I'm like, this is the only musical that I would enjoy.
Hamilton.
But he wrote Hamilton. So I mean, he writes a lot of bangers in general. So I give him credit for that. But I haven't seen Hamilton actually. I feel like maybe it's live action musicals where I'm just like,
it's live action. No, they have it recorded as well. So
the Hamilton recording is really just a recorded stage play.
It's a stage play.
Yeah, it's just a live performance, and it's very good.
Yeah, well, my sister.
I keep hearing that.
Yeah, my sister is a Hamilton groupie. She has seen every version of the Hamilton several times, and she'll literally be on social media like, "Oh my God, Hamilton!" Just like, calm down. Yeah, like, have you seen that? Have you seen the greatness that is Hamilton, the Lord, our Lord and Savior? I'm like, calm down. I'm like,
that's where Lincoln does like a rap song, and then he starts rolling on the ground, right? Like doing freestyle and shit.
I don't know. I have not watched it.
I remember George Washington breakdancing.
Okay, that's historically.
Cut this tree.
Yeah, yo.
Wow.
Like what?
Yeah.
I had a good time with Hamilton, but I don't need to go back.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. Like,
it's one of the most successful plays in a long time, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it made like a bajillion.
Well, I'm like, I'm in the minority, or whoever doesn't like it is in the minority. That thing has been ultra successful, uber successful.
Well, talking about going, back on track. Let's wrap up this review of Agatha.
Oh Lord,
yeah. I think we talk more about musicals than anything else. So
yes, I don't want that to be an indictment on the show. I highly enjoyed Agatha. I would recommend it to people.
All right, give your blurs. Give your blurs.
I would give it. See, I'm waffling. I want to give it
What does your heart say?
Yeah.
I was gonna say I feel like a 9 is too strong.
That's calm down.
I say if that's how you feel, that's how you feel.
Yeah, I mean, Green Tuna be having some dumbass scores, so yeah, you can. You can just
say like,
yeah, if it was a 9, you'd have watched it a second time already. That's all I'm saying.
It would be worth it. It would be worth it.
I think I'm where Bandito is at. I also believe 9 is too extreme here.
Yeah,
I would
say
8.5.
Nah, I said okay. I'm gonna get. You guys are playing around. I'm just
8.5. You was
8. Strong 8. Easy.
Yeah, round 8 is what I'd say. Yeah.
Strong 8.
All right.
I think if you haven't watched WandaVision, it's probably like a 7. But
what did you say?
Yeah.
Oh, 5.
Of course. There's God damn. If it's not like
what's wrong with that? It's the middle.
If it's not like Old Boy or something like that, then he's the one.
The middle road.
Down the
middle road, baby.
Yeah, down the witch's road. Like, yeah, this guy. I mean,
this is just like Agatha. I'm feeding on your hate.
Yeah, you
just
are.
Keep doing it to me, bitch.
Right. I'm just getting sucked up.
Yep.
Yeah. This guy.
Cram my camera.
Yeah, that's why haters are gonna hate. Yeah, that's why you got. Yeah, that's why you got a 5 out of 10 camera, bitch. All right, so we're all 8 except for Green Tuner, of course, the resident hater, number 5. I guess if it was Ed Underground, I know he would be like, oh,
too many women in here.
No, but the thing about Ed is I gave it a 5 because it is middle of the road for me.
Sure.
But with Ed, he like goes crazy. He's like, ooh. Negative 7.
Can give it a negative score.
Ed would be like, what's the lowest I could give it again?
Yeah. Like,
I'll give it a half.
Yeah. Like, what's the lowest? Does it have to be a whole? Well, he wouldn't say a whole number because I don't think he would know that. But he would be like, what is the lowest decibel score I could give it? It's 0.00, like 10 minutes later, 0.001, because it's at least Marvel. Like, it's just like, oh, shut up. Yeah, I kind of do wish we had the Ed Underground here to hear his score so we can see what a true hater is. Like Green Tuner, he's just he's a boring hater. He likes Old Boy. He likes like his what else do you like? Probably like Reservoir Dogs.
Lately?
Reservoir Dogs.
I watched Skins. That was really good.
Yeah, right. Skins?
Yeah. Skins the TV show?
No, Skins the movie from Spain.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, you guys and your fucking Spanish like shows and movies. Jeez. Well, all right. So we got our blurries. Snake, do you as our guest, you get the last word. What do you have anything to say about the
how many
review?
Blurries do you get?
Yeah, how many blurries based off what you hear? Yeah, you never watched, but at least you've heard us talk about it.
On a scale of 1 to awesome, I give it a light
1
beer.
to 10, please.
Yes,
beer.
Yes. Well, you said 1 to awesome. You give it a light beer.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, it depends. Some people like light beers.
I don't know. I didn't know this show existed until 5 minutes before we started this.
I know. That's why.
I don't know. But knowing what I know now, I'm actually not totally put off. Sort of interested.
Okay. That's
1 to 10. What do you give it?
I'll watch the first episode and let you know. That's what you're
okay.
getting.
To be determined. How about that? TBD.
Yeah.
We'll take that.
I'm not scoring something I haven't watched, Fred. Tasted.
Wait. That's new. Because if he's the Ed Underground 2.0. That is an improvement.
Underground, then are you?
Yeah, but no, because Ed Underground be like, I watched the whole series. How many episodes you watch? I don't know, 2. And I give it. I'm gonna judge the whole series.
I pressed play on the remote and then I left the room, so that counts.
That counts. So I would give it a negative 0.000. So the fact that he's not willing to score it because he hasn't watched it, that means first off, he's much fairer than the Ed Underground by leaps and bounds. For sure. And I you know what, Snake, I appreciate that about you.
I think he's afraid. How he truly feels.
Wow,
he's a coward.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
It's only fair to witness the thing before you cast judgment. I'm not a video game.
No, you can't go through life educating yourself.
You to be fair, bro.
Yeah, you just gotta make mass assumptions out of everything. Yeah. That's how you live life.
Screw it, I'm taking off my pants. Let's go.
Hey! We're about to start this party. We'll save that for the second part of the podcast.
After dark, the
after dark. All right. Well,
can I ask a real quick question? I don't want to spend any more than like 30 seconds on this.
30 seconds.
Complete sidebar. Did anybody watch Twisted Metal?
No.
Just the first 2 episodes. I remember enjoying it.
Okay, I'm only finding out this exists right now. Okay, thank you. Carry on.
Okay, we will.
It's campy, very campy. As long as you're ready for campiness, you'll enjoy it.
And we talked about it. We talked about that we were going to watch it, so that is something that may come up when we have a lull and stuff to watch. We have a lot of stuff. We have a backlog of stuff to still watch, like Lord of the Rings, Twisted Metal, The Boys. We did The Boys. We caught The Boys. My bad.
I gotta get the Penguin. Thank you.
Yes, baby. Doom Patrol.
Which one?
Doom Patrol. Yeah.
You've been trying to watch that.
All right.
All right, we're good. All right. As always, thank you once again to our special guests for coming out tonight. Much appreciated. Thank you for taking over the spot for the Ed Underground, at least for tonight.
You did great.
You did great. I'm not gonna lie. If I had to give you Blurries, I'd give you 10 out of 10 easily. But no, appreciate you coming out, Snake. Hopefully we could get some more Snake tidbits in the future. As always, you're always welcome. But as always, that has been episode 145 of the Blrd podcast, our review of Agatha All Along. Please stick around as we go to our next segment, talking about all extra things of all the news that's happened in the past week or two. There's quite a lot to talk about, maybe. We'll see. But as always, you can catch us on all major streaming platforms and catch us live on twitch.tv/the Blrd podcast and also on YouTube. If you can't catch us live, you can catch the entire podcast episodes on youtube.com/the Blrd podcast, where you can see our beautiful faces. But if not, like I said, all major podcasting platforms, you will be able to find us as well. Until next time, and hopefully we'll see you over on the extra content, the extra Blrd. But until next time, we will blur you later.
Blur you later.
Snake, you have to say obligatory blur you later.
Don't say it, Snake. Don't say it.
Do it.
I'm literally sitting here like, y'all use this as a, y'all say this stuff?
Oh, I hate you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course, dude. Blur you later.
Blur you later.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell
yeah. Your pressure work.
He doesn't have the required melanin to say blur. Okay?
No, that's true.
Hell yeah, hell yeah, brother. All right, guys. Blur you later.
Homie.
You say that outside, they're gonna beat you. They're gonna fucking whoop your ass.